Mr. Lynch likes only life forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply. Mr. Simply. Simply. Instead not it's April 22nd, 2026, and it's Wednesday neighbors. Today totally no, totally cloudy, no, ma in generale middle sky, absolutely equivalent variable, e pratically an adjective the fact that today sunny, okay, real alternative, clear scatters in general, alternative to with cloudy, these scatters in general, but even if in this exact moment, to see mostly cloudy between the two things, yes, it seems as you know. Also with a wine, light wine and CDB, or vice versa, where this is light wine and questo sempre esiste now. Sometime it's early afternoon, 13 and 1 minutes. It's got 45 18 Celsius. And this means it's really soft, like it's very soft, it's adjective for the spring winds. It's fresco, it's one effect that channel sometimes for yes, June 17, it's factory ever comes yes, whether it was last pass summer, last pass summer, last pass the autumn, last pass winter, now for the spring, per come so the one of all the seasons, a bit better all the seasons, per come for yes, weather reports. Even if spring of some weeks, we enter in it practically 33 days ago, more than non figure only 33 days ago, and this whether si cade Sapson March 20 was a Friday and to be in Italy at 10 1 a.m. However, Sapson non in Calgary, so which means supposedly I'm sure that Odyssey the remaining singles the same. So it seems that my purpose effectively introduction is better for you and for me. And I did do entire operations for the summer, the autumn, the winter, the fact of the summer for the autumn singing soft for the winter adjective cold, not as in for the seasons to be a catchy. As I heard in degrees, at least me, all something was if you read them, so they complete better. I see this now for the other people, not for me at all. Also, we can say, I can say that they entered in general, it's a spring, let's see, it's a spring here, official spring since Easter weekend, but between last April 45, because in fact since those days we have the perfect climate temperature there is here not only in general in Italy but in particular for this city. So what I repeat for me behind is because for me in this period all the years it's always good, yes, when in general is still what has got to in general way I don't know if it's amazing just for it's good so completely but can be feel my fingers I think at the si consiglia di c'è sicuro si può fare fare tantini Celsius l'importante è sfida tanti vedi si può dire. Essere cortina quando si è cortina in genere, se mi sentami ci fusi a mostrare se si suppose, fa che risultati da ripeti sky, hai just a moment ago I said it was in middle but also that perhaps also mostly cloudy, in fact in this moment it's really mostly cloudy, messo consider then last thing not for Farises, for Farises, security, was beautiful discussion. But I think last week, perhaps, last week, così ecco il trade for today, così rimane in session, so I think it's possible that later in later option, it's because obviously really have smart again, because I think totally cloud slide darker bleaker. And also that my team front of France non sarebbe I think very good. Se così what happens? Se così non mi sono intelligenza vita, se così inizia che è come scrivere delivery via. Well, bad, perhaps at the moment would essere contro bad, well. Also bad, maximum trasferite coda generate. Well, bad, well. So sì, su come dico, quindi certi infrasi sono fare mix expansion curtin si trasta and by man magari insomma non so birthday the best curtin particular third marti and only for some it was the best curtin was beautiful grey curtin beautiful painted way branch è stato ripple da passo perché non è best curtin to know only things that they might see on my comments from section once it's about done the first time the first one of them so read the comment section and if you can generalize to where from this shot near beginning once and I think yes sì the green flowers and flowers mix months and also fact the curtain is white. Ora non infatti fino a even better cioè better se nasce presi questo fatto video che c'è io dovete scattare sia già finisse la seconda quindi cazzo come loro sappiano insomma non lo so amico mio amico Roma more from a perspective also when the data shot similar to the classical shot of human test fantastic you know normal this should be M1 to if not few days later but not yes should be M1 so for the best curtain bit once again beautiful grey curtain beautiful painted image also for the first curtain so the ports magari insomma magari curtain nel mentre Max Actrisi magari things di povera amici cioè se still da cala curtain also miss thing at one year so non ci shit well so thing shot also is fact but for one reason che non shoot so one reason but more one this fact image adesso io da little speech sentence also easy super space curtain vai bit once again for the third time visual curtain visual painted image perhaps in case repeat for the second time first stone story force regale curtain is room curtain also in case repeat for the second time and remember exactly and now I'll see edit using curtain so repeat special also in case for times so when is little speech sentences it is but also and always better visible for me needs sentire di shot si fa simiti con leggenda shot si carica il rischio di un'attività effettivamente attività verso octobre in parte solo preso parte del also days attivismo nel suo reality speech just sentence for routine also it also vale also for it so repeat once again but also always better visible for me it's utility in shot si consiglio meteor gen shot and finally from the clima Jackson 40 pg 65 also in case of gen shot and also another shot that we meet on November 31st it was a sad weekend not only but it was also the birthday edited to be precise of the great legend di Michael Lott che also non si faceva di Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department di Truma infatti le contro vi sarà esplosione uguale insieme di area simmetriche insieme persone e magari things I also dedicated to him the video one in which is the first version of my interpretation for the track I do recommend it because if you want to know it because it's truly a masterpiece. Josie and Truman for 2 picks, particularly 2 picks season 2. And yes, in this video one is the first version, my interpretation one of this track. But for the fact that I uploaded it on last March 22, I also dedicated it to my strangers, but I supported the previous 69 property, while the idea was so much for me, on December 92, and also Mr. Nish's 80th birthday, on last January 25, 4 days before Michael Lontek, and so from the fact that it was only originally dedicated only to Michael Lontek in this first version, I also dedicated practically it to all the 3 persons, or all of them, so in fact Michael Lontek, Master Strangers by 90th birthday, and also to Mr. Lynch, but orrend for the fact that I should upload also, no, I'll upload also video to art versions in the next release with art related to versions, also the but it should be 2 versions where to yes, and while also I think to dedicate I think to dedicate this video to, or better should I dedicate this video to also to John Chen or Josie Parker, also in this case one is in the person meeting or vice versa, to John Chen's birthday on next year 26, it will be her 65th birthday, and also I think I should upload between today and tomorrow, I should perhaps maximum Tuesday, I should film another piece that is Josie's pasta, also in parenthesis Harold Steam is mi consiglio si pisa solo diverso ma Josie è Harold Steam, however also dedicated other piece to John Chen's birthday, so this will be the present to forever. Okay, for the moment for the first version, but choosing to consider the combination also recommended as a reference, or the second one, Lynch one or another, yes, the second one of last video, so I uploaded it. Okay, I was saying that if you shot, you can see aqua condition, the game aqua condition is 7 seconds, just in 4 in fact, since the 3 values, the main problem, the game effect is not in display. I also have the problem, so not another problem. The main problem is this effect is not in display, and one is on and the other to fix it. Niitä, Kristin mulle people for example, what's the getting to and someone also myself for us was guessing and finally, I hope you all even get to breakfast. Late in general, soon as any flat at all, fa con easy late to me for us, but for aware, so maybe then says them as the one integration for system, it's late in general, or for the people, but all for my record. But not at all, my cannot also remind you make breakfast. This hours it's in the winter period, so in summer general, let's say since February, suppose, since March and April, and pratically since the spring until the next summer January, and yes, except for those days in which I get up very late, not a case of the way, but sometimes late, but all in practice it's very often regular anxious man, it's so in fact it makes fantastic way to start with diventare mettere in chimica, diventare in parte mettere, se vuoi essere, finché te regoli sei, sempre tritto, so, vedo le vita, vedo che lo si carriera, il tuo sono ma notte e tutto. More no, yes, just before they're just totally just in code 13 and no one mutes. But the important thing is that insieme also di forti adesso, Emilian, so questa sì, perché fa some most music for absolutely. And soon, as point of more than 1 year, should be more than 1 year, surely more than 1 year, so in few months away, I also was the considering effect of the squid, but back stessi the reason on Friday, si può utilizzare in un reso, 6 reso, beautiful red, dark blue and white, and for the guys to know, forse solo fortuna, sto riporto su blue, in the reason of tickets light blue, but aspects still different in the first one, second story, what reports, and as regarding the time, I think I'm using it in a 25 ago. Yes, one thing that perhaps, if they follow me on Friday to reports, I think the body was one which any and my readers of reports. Well, yes, this should be, I repeat, this should be done. Being at the I permit you to 1 year, 1 time, should wait some better designate to me, which is the speech, and should reason on Friday. Well, yes, for example, short, so I'm using it to do, but 1 year, so of course, it's soon. However, in Southern Short, obviously, YouTube, I don't know most of about tomorrow here, and since I'm soon, and from Southern Biscuits, and every fact, I will come to be biscuits, and yes, I'm from Boston, but I think it's one of the best things I thought, chocolate chip cookies, or the cookies, chocolate chips, and if you're to mistake, I just want to be message, not in particular, to mistake, but milk fat, so the shots, only get 3 coffee. توصل screenshot also kunnen dat geschot fragment videos I shot in first link 11 months should be sure 11 months also 1 year next see 11 months also consider should be is and videos and ci aspetta vai lavoro sono mai quick finisce analisi non si per finanzi 3 anni in 54 rispetto al fatto insomma this is a management before repeat should be 11 months saying this student should be this ideas and better so since at one to three patterns artificial unique so use and we need to expect things a breakfast questo a stipire in particolare meno per noi la stipire se gioco io tocco combattere una mia sopra questo mi finito abbastanza e ti dico e finza una nozione se tu le cose breakfast allora questo è meno ma se continui a pensare non è finita la stessa ragione anzi finire sempre così Rapporto executive demand face position but già also face position mi cosa altre face position in Italy per me action ship mi fa capire come non è mi cosa era lì super bello Alsing tomorrow is supposed to traffic continual to repetition. I hope that this literary sunshine when see Lamine and me will be seen for tomorrow, that we live a day with those beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. Everyone, even that day. As soon as he said, another which Mr. Lynch and it is close his what the reports, and also when he mentioned the beautiful skies sunshine, so the reports is also funny thing. I remember, I hope that Takramona will benefit not as beautiful skies sunshine. Here, dear, most of the game, but this I also try to kiss this suggestion also to it. And these are respectively the third thing I see in the shoot with a shine for the stream and the second my final greetings and vector is it because and also the fact that the said is a thing of a week so like all these videos for me is a shining se atol vide sublime lasciando tanti ansensi l'effetto sublime se perspettive se continua no ma adesso se continua io lasciamo restare nella testa di me fa una crisi vabbè se vuoi che lì su lì for tomorrow su anzi per un po' che ci tomorrow si presenta fa come sono tu la awal sim